competition, but he's really not. But let's just take a quick little glance at our first round draft pick, my namesake, Brock Bowers, and why he is a badass. These are his stats in college. And according to Draft Sharks, he had a model score of 8.96 out of 10. He had 193 rushing yards in his season. In his college career. And he has a 25.1 dominating factor. He's in the 78th percentile of a dominating factor. 2021, he played, let me see if I can read that, 15 games, 71 targets, 56 yards, 892 yards. Yards per reception, close to 16, 15.9. Yards per route run, 3 yards. An ADOT of an average depth of target, 8.8, and he had 12 touchdowns in 21. 22, 15 games played, 82 targets, 63 receptions, 942 yards, shy of 1,000, 15 yards a reception, yards per route, 2.37, an ADOT that went to 9.0 over 8.8 average depth of target for 7 touchdowns. Then he continued that decent trend in 2023 with only playing 10 games, getting the same amount of targets he had in 15 games or 16 games in his first year, with 71. He had 56 receptions in 10 games. That's 5.5 per game, y'all. 717 yards. That's 71.7 per game, y'all. Yards per reception, 12.8. Yards per route, 2.63. And his ADOT was a little bit less at 6.5, and he only had 6 touchdowns. But that's a career of 26 touchdowns in 3 years. That's like 8.5 to 9 touchdowns a year. And he's averaging, no doubt, 825 yards a season. And he's averaging 75 catches a year. This guy is a beast. And I'm going to pose this question in a second. But let's listen to JT the Brick, who knows a lot about this college player, talk about Brock Bowers.
Amber, I can do a 2-hour radio show here every day for 11 days just on Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I am all in on this guy, and let me explain why. He's the greatest tight end in the history of college football, no debate. He won 2 Mackey Awards, 2 national championships. No one's ever done that. He's on the Mount Rushmore of Georgia players to ever play. That includes Richard Seymour, Herschel Walker, the legends. He's in the top 4 ever to play. It was a gift from the sports gods to get him. He dropped all the way to the Raiders at 13. I had him going anywhere from 7 to 10. The fact that the Raiders got him means that he has to be great and elite, a perennial Pro Bowler. As a rookie, he could be that type of guy.
There it is. Straight out of the man's mouth. Whether you respect JT the Brick's commentary, I do. At least when it comes to Brock Bowers. And he hyped me up for Brock. And Brock Bowers was even talked about on that show, Hard Knocks, about the Giants. They had him high on their list. When you look at their draft boards for the Giants, who picked at number 6, and we picked at, 11 or 13? I think it was 11. They had him as like the 4th player that they would take, or the 5th player on their list, and they picked at 6. And Brock Bowers fell to us. A lot of us wanted a quarterback. We can remember that history. But I'm okay with Brock Bowers. We added a weapon under Luke Getsy's system. And he is possibly the next, dare I say, Travis Kelce. A lot of experts are calling him the biggest weapon in the draft besides, what was that player's name from LSU? Malik Neighbors. They compared him and his route running and his skill set and his strength to Malik Neighbors, who went to the Giants at 6. Marvin Harrison ended up being a headache contractually. Doesn't mean he's not going to be a good player. But Brock Bowers has done nothing but come into this camp and into this team, said and done all the right things, and he's focused on football. He could end up being the Raiders' greatest tight end in the history when all is said and done. And he would have the last name of Bauer, just like I do. So I'm proud of that. So I'm going to pose this question, and I want you guys to answer it in the chat room or in the forum or, under the description, wherever you write it when you see it. What are the chances Brock Bowers becomes the official offense rookie of the year? Max Crosby he should have had it a couple years back. But what are the chances? 75 to 100%? 50 to 75? 25 to 50? Or 0 to 25? Give me your honest answers right now. And we got another donation from the dude himself, getting another entry into the Jersey sweepstakes. Robert Hernandez with a $5 don. He said, "Cheers, Mikey. Have a great season. I would like to join the fantasy league. Good night from Savannah, Georgia." I appreciate that, Robert, but you will have to email me so I can get in contact with you. Unless we're already in contact through DMs, let me know. Let me know, Robert, okay? But you got my email below. What are the chances Brock Bowers is Offensive Rookie of the Year? I'm going to be honest with you guys. Who are the other players? We got Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Romo Udunze, maybe a running back or two. But with what tight ends have been doing the last couple seasons, like with Sam Laporta and stuff like that, I'm going to give this 75%. That's right. I'm giving it 75% that Brock Bowers will be the Offensive Rookie of the Year, because he is going to be used in this system. This 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. He's going to have a lot of targets coming to him from these young quarterbacks. Aiden O'Connell. I mean, let's be honest. It's basically Devontae Adams or Brock Bowers. And these quarterbacks like to throw the ball with small depths of target when pressured. And we know they're going to be pressured or they're going to freak out. Brock Bowers is going to have a lot of chances to catch the ball. Maybe as many as 70 receptions this year. Maybe 100 targets this year. That's what I'm predicting. He is going to have, in my opinion, one hell of a chance of becoming the Offense Rookie of the Year this season. But again, technically, you have to be a winning team to get these awards. But I'm putting him at 75%. Sluggo chiming in saying, I'd say it's a long shot, probably 10%. I have to wholeheartedly disagree, but I respect your opinion. In bad years, if we have one, these tight ends excel in Luke Getsey's system. Look at all the Chicago Bears tight ends that made a name for themselves, and they weren't even half as talented as Brock Bowers is. And Luke Getsey knows tight ends, especially with young quarterbacks. And none of those Chicago Bears tight ends were half as talented as Brock Bowers. So Mikey Rader's going all in. And also 1975 was the year of my birth. So I'm giving him a 75% chance because he has my last name. And 1989 was technically probably the year I officially became a Raider fan. I mean, it was in my body. I was a Raider fan for life. But my grandfather took me to a Denver Bronco game at the end of the season versus the Raiders. And we needed to win that game to go to a wild card. And I believe that was 89. It might have been 90. But still, my grandfather took me to that game. And he passed away the next day or like 2 days later. And I became a Raider fan ever since. And I was born to be a Raider from that point on. And that might have been 1989. But it's probably 90. I got to look up the year again. But there it is. 75% chance to become Offensive Rookie of the Year. Thank you guys for chiming in the donations. All right. What do we do now? Let's watch a video. Even though the video we're about to watch, it's going to say Raider Rants is coming up next. It's not going to be. But we're going to watch a video, take a